Why are immigrants fleeing Canada? The aspiration to thrive in Canada is becoming a struggle for many immigrants as they face high living costs and a shortage of rental options. This situation, coupled with increasing immigration rates, suggests that newcomers may be compelled to abandon the country they once hoped to call home. Despite initiatives aimed at helping immigrants settle in, a notable number opt to leave Canada for different reasons, prompting the question, why are immigrants fleeing Canada? To answer the question, let us consider some factors responsible for this development. Difficulties in integrating into the labor market. Let us begin our discussion on why immigrants are fleeing Canada with this factor. Skilled immigrants in Canada often encounter significant hurdles when trying to find jobs that align with their expertise, resulting in underemployment and reduced earnings compared to their Canadian-born peers. These obstacles include language difficulties, insufficient Canadian work experience, and inconsistent recognition of foreign qualifications. Many skilled immigrants struggle to establish themselves professionally due to a lack of acknowledgment of their international credentials and experience. They also face challenges in building professional networks and connecting with Canadian-born individuals, which are essential for both job and social integration. Furthermore, newcomers often find it challenging to navigate Canadian workplace culture, which may be quite different from what they are used to. These challenges can hinder immigrants from landing jobs in their desired fields, and they might need to establish a network of professional contacts to enhance their employment chances. Also, some immigrants may experience discrimination in the job market, where employers often prioritize Canadian education and work experience over foreign qualifications. These factors contribute to higher unemployment rates and lower wages for immigrants compared to native-born Canadians with similar skills. Research suggests that this development may be one of the reasons why skilled immigrants are fleeing Canada, as the call on the need for improved integration policies and support systems to help immigrants thrive in the Canadian job market intensifies. Why are immigrants fleeing Canada? In order to answer that, let us consider another reason responsible for this development. The fake dream fallacy. This describes the disappointment felt by many immigrants and long-term residents who find that their hopes for affordable housing, job prospects, and a good quality of life have not been realized. This growing discontent has prompted a notable number of individuals to consider leaving the country. Contributing to this situation are economic stagnation and various social challenges. Since 2020, Canada's per capita GDP has been declining by 0.4% each year, marking the lowest rate among developed nations in the top 50. Furthermore, a persistent housing crisis and an increase in violent crime have intensified feelings of disillusionment. These issues reflect a broader political failure, as politicians have not adequately addressed the needs of everyday citizens, resulting in a sense of betrayal among many immigrants and residents. Research suggests that many immigrants come to Canada with high expectations, only to be left disappointed. Sweta Regmi, a career development expert, believes that some immigrants who left Canada may have had overly optimistic expectations about their move and were misled with false promises and dreams. According to her, those who were departing had very high hopes. She highlighted concerns regarding unlicensed recruiters and dubious immigration consultants fueling this situation. However, she emphasized that prospective immigrants must conduct thorough research before deciding to relocate to Canada. She also acknowledged that there can be valid reasons for immigrants to leave, such as pursuing better job opportunities elsewhere. She opined that sometimes leaving is beneficial because it ultimately depends on what they desire. Unfortunately, some of these desires are not met, and the fact that the cost of living is high is causing them to flee. More of these will be discussed shortly. High cost of living faced by immigrants. As the discussion, "Why are immigrants fleeing Canada?" continues, we cannot rule out the high cost of living as a significant reason for this development. Rising housing prices and poor living conditions have led many immigrants to flee Canada as they seek more budget-friendly locations. Immigrants, especially those in metropolitan areas, are struggling to keep up with housing costs, resulting in notable demographic changes. The housing crisis in Canada is creating severe difficulties for many immigrants, prompting some to relocate. The cost of housing in major Canadian cities has surged, making it hard for many to find affordable and decent places to live. In Canada, approximately 60% of household income is required to manage homeownership expenses, with this figure climbing to around 98% in Vancouver and 80% in Toronto, according to a report from RBC in September. Mayo Maong, a 55-year-old immigrant who moved to Canada from Myanmar over 30 years ago, has built a successful career as a real estate agent and restaurateur. However, he intends to retire in a country like Thailand, as he doubts he can maintain his current living standards in Canada on his retirement income. Mio is not the only one experiencing this situation. Justinas Stankus, 38, who arrived in Canada from Lithuania in 2019 to pursue a doctorate in political science, is contemplating moving to Southeast Asia, where living costs are lower and he can continue his research. Stankus, who pays $2,000 Canadian dollars for a one-bedroom apartment, including utilities, expressed that rising living costs have made it challenging to cover basic needs. "With a graduate student's budget, it's not feasible," he stated. This financial pressure has led immigrants to look for cheaper living options in other countries. Immigrants are leaving for different reasons, and personal factors such as loneliness could be one of these reasons. Let us see how this is playing out as we continue our discussion in a moment. A sense of isolation. This factor accounts for another reason why immigrants are fleeing Canada. Social isolation and loneliness can significantly affect the well-being of immigrants, especially older adults and those who have recently arrived. Factors like language barriers, cultural differences, discrimination, and changing family caregiving roles often worsen these issues. For example, older Chinese immigrants, one of the largest immigrant and ethnic minority groups, typically experience lower levels of acculturation and English language skills, making them more susceptible to feelings of isolation and loneliness. Studies indicate that social isolation, which most immigrants in Canada are facing, can lead to a decline in social skills, which can disrupt social interactions. Moreover, seniors who are socially isolated face a greater risk of elder abuse, including financial exploitation, and find it harder to engage with and contribute to their communities. Difficulties linked to social isolation and loneliness can significantly impact immigrants' overall quality of life. A study from Statistics Canada reveals that immigrants experience loneliness more often than those born in Canada, leading to adverse effects on mental health, such as increased chances of depression, anxiety, and stress. These challenges may lead to feelings of dissatisfaction and could affect their decisions to leave the country. As more immigrants continue to flee Canada, our subsequent discussion will focus on the characteristics of immigrants leaving the country. Stay tuned for more details. Who are the immigrants leaving Canada? Research shows that various factors influence why immigrants choose to leave their new homes. Age plays a crucial role, as both younger and older immigrants are more likely to emigrate, often due to significant life changes or retirement. Other factors include gender, country of origin, and socioeconomic status. For example, male immigrants, those from wealthier nations, and individuals with higher education or income levels tend to emigrate more frequently. Over 25% of immigrants from Taiwan, the United States, France, Hong Kong, or Lebanon have left within 20 years of arriving, attracted by better living conditions or as part of a broader migration plan. Additionally, more than 40% of those who entered Canada as investors and 30% of entrepreneurs have also emigrated within 2 decades. These groups often consist of affluent individuals who are quite mobile and may have intentions to leave Canada even upon their arrival. Though Canada ranks among the highest in the world in terms of the number of immigrants it accepts relative to its population, research shows that the country still lacks effective strategies for economic integration. The slow pace and the failure to acknowledge foreign qualifications are significant issues. Overall, the reasons for migration are complex, with economic difficulties, such as challenges in finding work, being a significant factor. Personal issues, like the loss of a family member back home, difficulties adjusting to the climate, and struggles with language and cultural adaptation also play a part. Some immigrants may view emigration as a strategic move, balancing their lives between countries based on economic opportunities and family connections. How far this trend will continue depends on future policies aimed at encouraging immigrants to stay. As the video ends, the discussion continues. Why are immigrants fleeing Canada? Please join the conversation and keep it going. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.